for the last day of school. Always an exciting day, and to see especially elementary kids leaving school. Some of them crying because they're going to miss their teachers. That's pretty moving, and seeing the buses leave for the last time. Really big moment in the lives of a lot of kids, and excited now to go on to high school graduation ceremonies that will be taking place over the next 4 days here, mostly down at the fairgrounds, but I believe we have about 22, 23 graduations taking place over the next 3 or 4 days. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the year as a wrap up for the year. I mean, you know, obviously we had our challenges around transportation and continue to have those challenges, but really proud of the things that are happening inside of JCPS right now in every school. For my 7 years, you know, besides the transportation issue, which I knew is a huge issue, but actually what took place in all of our schools, this was the best of my 7 years by far. We saw great academic achievement throughout our schools. We're seeing positive trend numbers in graduation rate, in post-secondary readiness, in math and reading achievement. We're seeing really good numbers there. We're seeing a major decline in many of our significant behavior issues within inside our schools. And so I just think we are seeing positive trends, and the changes we've made in JCPS are really making a difference. You know, wanted to highlight some of those. First of all, I talked about graduation rate, 87% graduation rate, which was an all-time high for Jefferson County Public Schools. And the gap between black and white students significantly narrowed in that as well. We also know that we were recognized by researchers at Harvard and Stanford who released a study saying JCPS had recovered from the COVID days quicker than most other large urban school districts around the nation, and that was all around math and reading scores. So we're really proud of that. We opened 2 brand new school buildings to start the year, Echo Trail Middle School, Perry Elementary School, which was fantastic. We're continuing to work on new schools. We'll have some announcements coming very shortly. You know, we broke ground on W.E.B. Du Bois, and we'll be doing the same on another school very shortly. Implemented our new reading and math curriculum across elementary schools so that every single school is focused on one reading curriculum, and we believe that will make a huge difference. 19,000 students in academies of Louisville, and we just continue to see amazing things happening in academies of Louisville and in our Explore schools, middle schools, Explore Pathways. We have 14 middle schools doing amazing work. Other great things that we want to highlight, 94% teacher retention rate, which is above the national average. And so we're really proud of that we have a retention rate above the national average. And that's very important for us moving forward. Moving forward, we're going to have 5,000 students in summer learning starting in about 3 weeks. That was a part of our future state. So we're really proud about that. A few other things we've implemented. As you know, we fully staffed our JCPS Police Department, which I believe has made a huge difference in safety here in JCPS. We installed weapons detections systems in all of our high schools, and with all of our middle schools coming online next year, I think you would see in the numbers there was a significant decrease in the amount of weapons in our schools this year. We attribute that to many things, but partially the weapons detections system. So I think that has been very successful. And continue to work on our facilities, our branding at our schools, so students feel a sense of belonging in all of their schools. You waving by? All right, that's good. You guys can wave by. And working on turf fields throughout the district now on our athletic fields and playgrounds at all of our schools. So major improvements in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and on school grounds in JCPS. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our senior class. We have 6,937 seniors who are expected to graduate. So nearly 7,000 seniors expected to graduate. Over 3,500 of them have college credit from advanced placement or dual credit classes, which is just amazing. And over right at 76% having demonstrated post-secondary readiness. When we have our bonus applied for students going into high demand, we will be above 80% of our post-secondary readiness number, which once again is a record for Jefferson County Public Schools. Almost 4,500 students graduating from Academy of Louisville schools. Over 1,500 of them have industry certifications, which means they're walking across the stage so many kids with either college credit or an industry certification who are ready to walk right into that world, go to post-secondary or have a job right away. Over 1,400 students qualified for career and technical education college credit. So when I hear people say bring back vocational studies in our schools, we have over 1,400 kids who have qualified for career and technical education, which just absolutely would dwarf any type of vocational education we've ever had in Jefferson County Public Schools. We're also, as a part of our contract, graduating 69 seniors who have signed conditional contracts for our teaching and learning pathway, says they're going to go to college and then head back to us and teach. So amazing things have happened this year. You know, we continue to face our challenges. Without a doubt, the major challenge, like most urban school districts, and quite candidly, all school districts, is staffing. So staffing in the classrooms, staffing on our buses. You know, we continue to be challenged with that, like most districts do. And without a doubt, our bus driver shortage. We have a blitz on June 1st. So if that's a week from Saturday, I believe. So if you would like to come out and interested in becoming a JCPS bus driver, please join us at our blitz next Saturday. Information is online. You can find out all information about becoming a bus driver online. So that is kind of where we are. We've got a lot of work to do this summer. Clearly, we have a new transportation plan for next year that we've implemented. We are beginning in about a week. We begin training teachers moving forward, high school teachers on ELA curriculum. And the rest of our new elementary and middle school teachers as well. So a lot of work to do over the summer. We're excited for the new year, but obviously everyone's ready for a little bit of break as well. So happy to take any questions that you have. Yeah, I would say it was, the most challenging. You know, the amount of time clearly that I've had to focus on transportation, which, you know, I've learned a lot over the past year in transportation. And so that was without a doubt the biggest challenge. And I think the biggest challenge I faced amongst many challenge over the past 7 years. I think the biggest challenge and the hardest decisions to make as superintendent, when you feel that there really is not a great answer to a problem or a clear solution that's going to help everyone. And that is the issue with transportation. So it has been a challenge that is tough to tackle when you don't feel like there are great answers to a major problem. Once again, it comes down to a bus driver shortage. That's pretty clear. And this will be a problem moving forward for districts across America for many years to come. I think you can look at St. Louis Public Schools, Cincinnati Public Schools, and many other districts right now who are struggling with the exact same thing. And so, yeah, that's been a big challenge, but I'm really proud outside of that of everything that's happened in our schools. I'm sure we can get that number from, you know, anecdotally from what I've seen. The loss of bus drivers is no greater this year than it's been in any other year. This has been a trend for about 12 to 14 years now. And I'll say this, a third of our bus drivers are over 60 years of age, and somewhere about a fifth of our bus drivers are over 65 years of age. That is a trend that has happened over the past 10 to 12 years, which means more people are going to retire than actually come into the system. And so that's a major challenge that many districts are facing right now. We can get you those exact numbers, but I do believe it's not much different than other years with bus drivers. Sure. You agreed with a lot of what they had to say. Can you kind of just expand a little bit on that, and then also what did you disagree with? Well, we agreed with most everything. The recommendations we agreed with. There was one small one we disagreed with in our finance department, but every other thing that really had to do with transportation, we agreed with. So I think from the very beginning of this, we took a lot of responsibility, if not full responsibility, for the challenges that we faced. Like I said, I learned a lot throughout this process of the things we were doing well in transportation and, quite frankly, the things we weren't doing well. And so a lot of the things that were recommended, we had already identified as issues and began to work on those. But I think there were some good recommendations in the audit as well. And so improving practice is an important part. And I'll say this, I've said this before, I have no problem with audits whatsoever, because I believe you can improve practice by having audits. I mean, clearly the things I disagreed with were not necessarily in the audit, but the statements that were made at the board meeting, I believe on March 23rd, if that's the correct date. But I thought there was some oversimplification of the challenges that we face and how to fix those. But as far as the audit itself, we agreed with nearly every recommendation.
It's not going to be where you want it to be. Saying that, can you commit to next year's first day being better than this first day was?
Yes, I can commit to next year's first day being better than this. If it's not, then we'll have somebody else up here. So, it will be better. And so we have teams that are working on this, which was a part of the recommendation. They've been working on it for weeks now. So we've been working on this first day for weeks now, cross-divisional teams. And without a doubt, I mean, the main thing that is going to help us successfully navigate the first day of school is we will have very close, if not less, bus drivers than routes. It ended up we did not have that this year. And when you have more routes than bus drivers, you are going to have delays. But the things from our systems to our technologies on our buses, to the way we do things, to the reduction in routes, all of these things will make the first day much more efficient. I will say this, first days are always challenging. I mean, kids are late. We'll have new kindergartners coming into Cochran Elementary at the first day of school who have never been on a bus or taken that bus home. So as quickly as you saw all the students getting on the bus, it will be about twice that amount of time to get them on the bus going home on that first day of school, making sure they're all on the right bus. They're all headed to the right house. They know their address, things like that. And so when you have those first days, I've done it now for 28, 29 years of first day. It's much delayed, but I do believe we will have a much more efficient first day than this year. I can't comment on that. I don't know right now what my future holds. Go ahead.
Talking about the future of next year, I know you guys have already asked families to let you guys know whether or not these students will be car riders or bus drivers and things like that. But when you guys feel that you guys will let families officially know what the transportation information will be?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I want to say we're doing some work, and that you all probably know about, to try to increase the amount of drivers we have. But right now we have a transportation plan that is approved, has been approved, and start times that have been approved. Those will remain in that way until an announcement is made. And so families need to plan for the transportation plan that has been approved at this time. What we are doing right now are internal routers, which is a new team. We're not external anymore. We have an internal routing team based on the decisions of the Board of Education are moving forward with routing. And so the quicker we get everyone to verify whether they are going to be a bus rider, a car rider, or a walker, we are able to solidify all of those. Our goals will be to, by the end of June, to have all of the routing completed. By mid-July, have it available to families. One thing we are going to do different this year that was a part of our audit was we added a lot of stops the 2 weeks before school. The audit clearly identified that, and that delayed greatly our buses on first day. We will have a pause period where we will not be adding stops right around the last week of July into the first week of August. So we will be communicating with families that they need to make sure that they are checking out their bus stops and these things before the end of July, because we will have a pause period so that our drivers can practice their routes and they can make sure that they know them, they're efficient, and we're not adding stops up until the first day of school, which was a mistake we made last year.
Is that actually legitimate and feasible, or was that just kind of something that you guys hope may solidify?
Well, I mean, it's difficult negotiations. We're still hoping that that happens. There's two entities involved in this, TARC and JCPS. There's two unions involved, the Union for TARC and Teamsters that represent our bus drivers. And so, when you have four entities involved in any type of negotiations, that makes it a little more challenging. But we feel we've made progress and hope to have an announcement soon. But that, we're still in that process of negotiation, and I don't want to get in front of that whatsoever or impede that whatsoever. But, I will say this again, for us to bring back every single bit of transportation that we had, we would need about 175 new bus drivers. We will not have that next year. So it is important that families continue on with the transportation plan that we have right now. And if we are able to add drivers, whether it be this way or through our blitzes, then we can make some decisions over the summer. And I will say this, if we do add, it would be for our neediest students. We will identify our neediest students if we have the ability to add and provide transportation for the absolute students in need first. And so I'd really encourage parents to continue on with their plans as the plan has been passed at this point. I think all their parents teach here. So, right. That's why they're still here. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Appreciate you standing next to me. Good job. Good job. Enjoy middle school.